Hey there, Leo community. Soul Tiger is here with a story for this wonderful community. Now, I'm not sure what's going to come out, but the vibe that I'm picking up for this story, for this Leo in particular, is you all Gucci just doing you. You don't have to worry about the attention of others. Really ran into a situation in preparing myself to do this story, and it was one of, I really just need to focus on where I'm going, what I'm doing, and not really focus on the chit chatter. Now, is that chit chatter of, say, finding some kind of validation through interaction of others, because fire signs like to socialize. Being able to go off on your own for a little bit and being comfortable with that. Not as in a lonely sense, but being able to walk with self as in a comfort sense of being able to move past, over, beyond hurdles that this Leo has been dealing with. So I've already called in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, divine, and universal energy to be a part of this story as guides and protectors. So let's go ahead and get jumping into this story. So what is it that would like to come out? What is it? What I see is like a reflection image. What is in this reflection? Union. That is quite interesting. And I feel like this is a union within self. It could be a union with somebody else. But if you know the vibe of my channel, I don't really do love stories. I'm more of enlightenment and empowerment and moving over peaks, hurdles, even plateaus that we run into. And has there been a plateau between the two sides of this Leo? The light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine energies. And masculine and feminine energies, we don't assign to a specific gender, because both those energies reside in each gender in different balances. So there is a union. Is it on the horizon? Let's see what's going on. What else would like to come out for the Leo community? This is so fitting. And when I had this card flip over, right before as it was flipping, I heard be brave. Navigation. What do we have here? A lionfish. It's always a little intimidating navigating new waters. Even if it's a union within self, learning how to balance out a little bit more in harmony when you haven't been in that state can be intimidating. And this lionfish, this navigation, is really looking at this union. What else needs to come out for the Leo community? I have financial security. And I reflect in the legs and the bloomage of the flowers, the two circles, and then we have a half a moon at the bottom. This is a transformation, because I'm going to take this as a crestation of Scorpio right here, especially with this moon. It's water energy to me. Yes, this new kind of stability in your emotions is going to be off in another direction. And what this did land on, let's see, growth of energy. Look at all those flowers, all the blooming, fertility. And I believe that's the seed of life right there. And what I'm hearing is all is one, one is all. And I feel like this Leo is going to get closer to that concept of the cycles of life and how every lesson, no matter how hard or defeating it is needed to be able to have a union with self. All right. Let's see. Two more cards. Two more cards. What else would like to come out? We'll go one more time. I usually like to go for 6 cards. 6 is a harmony number for me. All right. Let's see. Anything else want to come out for the Leo community? All right. There they are. So, under the financial security, would you believe it? Guess who came out? Scorpio. Defense. Here we have some more beautiful floral. And right under that, under growth of energy, is balanced emotions. Again, I am hearing to relay, once we go into a new direction, even if it's a positive transition, it can be hard to let go of what is old. And what is old, we could have tied guilt to. What is old could have a lot of resentment tied to it. And those two emotions right there can cloud judgment, can bring fog in to one's journey and being able to see their path. Guilt and resentment, I'm hearing to say, are energies reflecting that somebody cares. They care enough to burden themselves with this and not let go of whatever was. That's pretty heavy. That's not me. That's what I was being told to say. The last 2 cards guided to come out, that was something a little bit bigger than me, because my right ear was definitely just holding on and had this nice little, like, I don't know how to put it. It wasn't static, but there was definitely a frequency there. So take time. I would even go back, Leos, in this community, whoever this Leo is, and replay that last bit and just really absorb it. All right, so moving forward. So I have this new deck here. I have the Goddess Tarot that I've already revealed in the Gemini community. But it's definitely something that wants to be brought out for the Leo community. Fun fact, Leo is a positive masculine energy. And if it's a union of self, this deck is very, 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 very feminine energy driven. So let's see what this balance is that's needed, that's being expressed in this frequency for the present while using this deck. All right, I'm hearing angels, ancestors. What is it that needs to come out for this story, for the Leo community? Oh man. We got stuff that Leo is not seeing. And first up lands on the defense. It lands on emotional balance. Eight of Swords. There's a sense of being surrounded in thoughts, surrounded in their past. And then I have the Seven of Pentacles. These thoughts are geared towards the growth, the stability that this Leo feels like they didn't achieve. It wasn't a fruitful crop. Because of that, and I was told even before I was interpreting these cards, is that I did not explain enough towards this defense. I moved on too quick. And what I'm told to go back and explain for the defense is this Leo in this story is running short with others. They're finding problems in the relationships that they do have with people. There's a big difference in how they feel people are communicating with them. But what Leo in this story is not recognizing is that they're on emotional defense right now. And it has to do with the fact that they're really hard on themselves for not showing up, not having this ideal stability, and being surrounded with those thoughts all the time. What I'm hearing is it's almost thoughts of failing. They failed somewhere. There's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of buildup of guilt. A lot of buildup of just this heaviness that's being carried in the emotions. All right, let's see what else would like to come out for the present. Anything else would like to come out for the present? Let's see. I have the Ace of Staves. It lands on the Seven of Pentacles, but it also landed on the Seven of Cups in reverse. The Seven of Cups is what is not seen. What this translates to, and this is a part of the guilt, because I have a big sun here. I have a Leo who's very driven. Who was very driven when they started planting their seeds, when they started building the stability. But I feel like a lot of life's variables happened to them. Variables that they felt like they weren't prepared for, whether it was in home and their own transformations that they were supposed to have, whether it was showing up, whether it was providing, whether it was just being there, because they don't see any of that. All these cups are empty. And this is what they're on the defense about. But this is the thing that's going to help them grow into that one is all and all is one. What does that mean? That's somebody, I heard that. What does that mean? What that means is we can't become half the person we are if we didn't have a past. Now it's a translation of that past that gives us our present and leads us into the future. That's what that means. All right. What else would like to come out for the present for the Leo community? So a lot of stuff doesn't come out when we talk about Leo in these different senses where Leo would feel shame or feel like they weren't the best. Leos have sensitive egos. And if you're a Leo that's still watching, I'm very proud of you for having this open mind. Because when you're facing things that could affect the ego or affect how somebody feels about themselves, it can be very hard to face. There is a good majority of people that would rather just walk away and deal with the same old, same old. So what I have I have a Prince of Cups. And my Prince of Cups, I am reading as the Page of Cups. And he lands inside on the staves only. There is that immatureness that this Leo is really feeling, or it's something they haven't faced, because this is something that's going to balance the emotions. And just because I say immatureness doesn't mean automatically I'm saying that you're acting like a spoiled child. What's different nowadays is there's more talk about emotional intelligence. And depending on what level we're on, you can be on a mature, immature, beginning, amateur, if those are words that you prefer to hear, opposed to immature. But there is still a level in the emotions for this Leo that is on the not as leveled up position yet. And this is where they have the defense. This is where the emotional balance is playing. And this doesn't have to result in, oh, this is my fault. This is not a blame game. That's the whole thing. Nothing is a blame game here. What it is you're feeling this pull for a reason. You're opening your eyes. You're feeling new things for a reason. And it could be it's time to grow in this area of this Leo self. So what I have that lands that this Leo doesn't see under the financial security is the Seven of Staves inside position. It's a lot of conflict within this Leo's foundation of self, how they've been structured inside. I'm feeling like there's puzzle pieces that are missing. Puzzle pieces that are missing. All right, we're going to go for one more card, and then we're going to dive into the block. All right, last card. What would like to come out for the present for the Leo community? There we are, 2 of them. And then we have this card here that they both land on. So what I have that pop out onto the 7 of Spades, and what I'm going to refer to as the missing puzzle pieces, because that's what I first wanted to say, is I have a missing puzzle piece in the King of Cups energy in reverse. And then I have the Lovers in reverse. And then what they landed on that's not seen is the 9 of Staves, or the 9 of Wands. This Leo feels like pieces that could be missing are of a more developed kind of emotional love, emotional IQ, one that is progressive. What they felt like was missing because of that was the harmony within love, loving self, loving others, but being able to show that love. That's what I'm being pushed to say, is that they weren't showing enough of that love. I feel like because they were too busy and trapped in their own foundation, they didn't know how to get out. They didn't know how to be able to structure that foundation a little bit different, or say lead that new example. Let's go ahead and start pulling for the block, because I feel like we're going to start leaning into this. What is it that needs to come out for the Leo community, for this block? Angels of protection, please, I ask that you help bring out the messages that need to come out. All right, so we have 2 cards here. They land under the financial security, and they land on the 7 of Staves and the King of Cups. And what I have is the Hermit in reverse. Remember, we were talking about at the beginning of this video, this Leo needing or could benefit from going off on their own and taking care of business. And what we don't see that lands face down is the 2 of Swords. This 2 of Swords, because this Leo only sees it that they had only 2 choices, only 2 ways to do what they do, to build how they built. They didn't see what else could have been, what other variables could have played into this. The way that they feel, the way that they think. Anything else want to come out? All right, so I have these cards land on the Prince of Cups, the 8 of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Staves. Oh, would you know it? 8 of Swords, 8 of Coins, 4 of Coins, 10 of Swords. Yeah, 10 of Swords.
And what this is translating into the block for this Leo is they really thought they were growing a little bit different than the old ways, the old things that were hung onto in the past, or what could have hung them up at a younger time. They really thought, they really thought that when they built this way, it wasn't going to work out in the direction that it did work out in. What I'm hearing is they're not taking into account the variables of life. Understanding that life happens, it unfolds, and sometimes it unfolds in what we feel like are very unfair ways. Ways that will put us on defense. What else would like to come out for the block? For the Leo community. Oh, y'all seen how that happened. And then we have this card that one lands on. So what I have that lands on top of the Emperor that is not seen in reverse is the Fool. And then I have the Emperor, also a card in reverse. And what also is not seen is Justice in reverse. These are all in reverse. What I'm hearing is that saying is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And that's being said from the Leo's perspective. That means there's a Leo out there who says, I can see something different, but that's impossible for me. And what I'm hearing to counter that is nothing is impossible when love is present. And this is, oh my God, I didn't know why this oracle deck was going to come into play, but now I get it. Now I get why this one, I believe, I can't remember what this exact quartz is. I'm having a brain fart. But why this particular quartz here would want to move from behind the candles, because I did another reading before this one, and it was a lot of facing what was behind the closed doors, what was the skeletons of the past. And when I was setting up for this community's story, this stone in particular, it wanted to be moved from behind the candles, behind the scenes, and it wanted to be placed right here in the view of reflection. Wow. Love knows no boundaries. Pure love. I'm talking about pure, in-depth love, not superficial. Not the love that says you owe me. Not the love that sits there and keeps a tally on things. This is a very pure love. A love that operates in the sense to help things become more, to help things grow, to help things come into harmony, to shed light onto the areas that are dark. in a way that is of acceptance, mercy, openness, compassion, those feminine qualities. One more card for this block, and then we're going to move on. Anything else that wants to come out for this Leo community's block? Another one that lands face down into a side position. Ooh-wee. If you know anything about a strength card, it's always a Leo that's in there. And with this one, we have a gator or a crocodile. The snout's kind of narrow, I'm not sure. And it's in side position. Lands right onto that Justice card. A little bit of the Seven of Cups. A little bit of that Seven of Staves. And the Ace of Wands. This card translates from Leo and not knowing how to break free. How to break free from feeling like they failed in areas that they really wanted to be passionate about. They can't see the justice in it. Yes, they showed up, but there's too much focus on all the ways that they felt like they didn't make it happen. And this is why I heard that this Leo needs to be brave. Because they've been navigating in some really dark, murky waters of their emotions. Really led by the thoughts. This is why it's going to be a union between the light and the dark within this Leo. Bringing in that emotional balance and having that transformation from one side into another. Or I should say into a new. One thing, I don't think I've ever mentioned this on this community's stories, is that another animal associated with Scorpio is the snake. Because it is known for immortality. Because it is able to still grow, gain, but it's still able to shed its skin from that gain and still become of new. What is it that needs to be shedded to help bring this a new Leo about? This new Leo who is very secure in themselves and knowing that their past was needed for them to be able to get over the plateau that they've been stuck at, surrounded by this fog, this murkiness. So let's reach to this universe oracle. And we're going to ask that divine energy, please help transmit some good positive messages that could help this Leo in this story. What is it? So I have the one card that lands on the Fool, on the Prince of Cups, the Eight of Swords for the block, and the Emperor. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Let's sit with self. Let's sort through what's going on. You're allowed to feel how you feel, but you're also allowed to process it and move forward. You're allowed to let go. And what I am told now is to read this one. And this one landed on the Justice in reverse, the Strength, the Seven of Cups, the Ace of Staves. I choose love no matter what. It's not a crime to love yourself. It's not a crime to even love your past self, even though you feel like it wasn't the best. That past self was navigating this life with only the tools they had at that moment. Now look at this, Leo, and where you're at. You're trying to gain more tools so that you can navigate in a much easier or much more harmonious way with self. That is not a crime. You are not doomed to the chains of guilt, resentment, anger, anguish. You don't have to wear those chains forever. And the universe promises that. What happens if it's unfair to others? What happens? So what I'm hearing is this Leo saying like, well, if I move forward, it's going to be unfair to whoever I didn't show up for. I need to read this. Let's see what this says. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. And that's letting go of the fear and the guilt that is being held onto, that has imprisoned this Leo in their mind. All right, we're going to get a few more cards out. Whoo-wee! I'm trying to do the best I can, being the loudest I can to make up for this mic turning off. Oh, bother. All right, so let's keep going. What else wants to come out? Here we go. So we have, it looks like 2 more cards. This is really the defense. I'm really highlighting that, really highlighting the thoughts that are surrounding. I'm really going to highlight how this crop, the stability wasn't fruitful in this Leo's view. My outer experiences are reflection of my internal condition. And what I'm using, or what I'm hearing to use, is if you felt like you didn't protect others, that means you feel like you didn't protect yourself. If you felt like you didn't show up for others, then you felt like you didn't show up for yourself. We can only do so much with what we have. I'm really reflected onto the light of this moon. If you navigate by a full moon, you're only going to have the view of so much. Again, if you navigate by the sun that is out full spectrum, you're going to have, again, a way to navigate. It'd be like more than the moon, but it's only going to be in the sense of so much. So with this Leo, you only had so much to navigate with. That was another chapter in your life. You have went through a few chapters already. You have gained more tools. And what I have land on the financial security and the growth energy. When I lean towards love, I am led. And what that's saying is, when you open up to accepting your journey for all the barriers, the hurdles that have been involved, you will realize how much it has helped shape your resilience and the person that you are. You're going to realize how it has shaped your outward view. And how today, if you were talking to somebody and if they asked you questions, you would use your views to help lead them into that more positive direction. Or I would use the word where there's less suffering, less battles, or less self-sabotage. And that's what this Leo needs to bring in when it comes to love, is seeing everything that they have built for themselves. The fact that they're recognizing how they felt like they didn't do something, how they didn't show up as something. Again, there are plenty of other energies out there who will not show up, feel it, but then disassociate from it. And then they build up their anger, their resentment, and then they start to box themselves in. And they start to create limits to themselves as they box themselves in. You'll see that in the family. You'll see that in their career. You'll see that even in the socialization or the social events, social celebrations that they will go to or even won't go to. All right, I am going to ask for one more card for this Leo community. What is it? I'm hearing when in doubt, bring that love in. Bring that love in. I'm going to say this as a reflection into Leo's characters. I am surrounded by Leos. And what I can say about a Leo energy is, yes, Leos can get overabsorbed in certain spectrums of their life. But at the same time, even though they're absorbed in those certain spectrums, they're still taking care of business. They still held it down. No matter how bad, how harsh it got, it was still being held down. And I really want to reflect on that part, because in order to hold something down, you got to show up. You got to show up every day. Every day. And Leos are one of the ones that do it. All right, let's get this last card. Last card. All right. There it is. And the final message lands onto the triangle of energies, talking about the experiences, talking about the prayer and the contemplation and the stillness and the choosing love no matter what. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. And that's going to be this Leo's world within. Following that intuition. Because you're going to feel when you're going off into the dark side. when the thoughts are going to start drowning out the emotions and putting your passion out. And that's when creating that love through prayer. And prayer to me is a lot like positive affirmations as well. Prayer is something that you put out there, and it starts to create that opportunity. When it's getting closer with a belief, still making sure that you nurture that belief, or just creating opportunity for the belief. Now, Leo, if you're going to believe in yourself, if you're going to believe that you're allowed to have this transformation and let go of the guilt, this is going to take work. And just like in a lot of religions, they are told to practice prayer, meditation on a daily. That's what's needed. I always use this example for my clients is one day you just don't achieve being good and you're set for life. That doesn't happen. You have to practice being good every day in the choices that you make. You have to practice being good when the doors are closed, when the blinds are closed, when nobody's looking, when it's just you and yourself. That's going to be the same as practicing self-love and reassuring yourself that you matter, that you're important, that how you feel is validated, and you are here to listen to yourself, to validate yourself, and to show yourself the love that was missing at one time. Take lots of deep breaths and be very patient. Like a jellyfish navigating the currents, you're not going to be able to fight big waves. This is something that you're going to have to fill out. There are going to be some things that you're going to have to let go and find the full circle of those lessons for this transformation, for this union with yourself. And I believe in you, Leo. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and have this. This is going to be something that's going to be practiced and practiced and practiced. And you will slowly, just like the hare that won the race, you will slowly make your way through it and find your stability in yourself, your validation in yourself, your love for yourself, and not love just on a superficial level with all the shiny things. I'm talking about from here, the lion's heart. Thank you so much, Leos. This was beautiful. This was wonderful. And thank you for sharing this frequency with me and being patient with that mic that went out. Have a wonderful rest of your day.